Hello friends, I am DragoNate, and welcome to another DragoNate Reading Your Answers video. Last week I asked you guys to tell me about some kind of story that made you feel emotion somehow. You guys answered and left your stories in the comments below, and I will be reading them today. But first, before we do that, we need to have a new question for this week. Why do I always screw up everything? I can't speak ever. I hope I never get into public speaking. Oh wait. So, the question I've been thinking of for this week is, since it is kind of the start of a new school year for probably most everybody. I know some people like the backwards people there in Finland. I'm kidding, by the way. You guys started school a little bit earlier, a few weeks ago. Around here, I think this is the second week of school now for most people. And then some people are just starting still, but either way. It's still a new school year, so my question is, what are you excited about for this school year, and what are you least excited about for this school year? School is one of those things that a lot of people dislike for varying different reasons, but then there's some people who really enjoy school. Others, they do it because they have to or whatever, but what are you excited for and least excited for? Let me know in the comments below and I'll read them next week. Now let's read your stories from last week's question. Starting with Madshot, who says, well, I was driving home after being sent home from work, got into trouble for silly stuff, has happened the past few weeks on and off. Kind of strange, but let's keep reading. I was very upset and angry at me and the situations with fear of losing my job. Had a small fit of anger on the drive home, but a song came on that brought me hope and to tears. Music never affects me majorly to that extent of emotion, but that's my silver lining. Everything is good job-wise, by the way. It was all irrational fear. So I'm glad everything worked out. I'm glad you haven't lost your job, and thanks for sharing. Mitsu says, I don't know, maybe the time I was in dance class and the teacher's pregnant. She's a small woman, so she kind of waddles around when walking and rubs her belly often. I just get this feeling of maybe me too one day. I don't know, it feels weird. It does feel a little weird, but I think it's normal, honestly. I remember one time when I was in high school, one of my art teachers, she was pregnant, so she had been gone for a little while, and then I think she'd kind of just come back, and I feel terrible. You know how the doors to outside, they're big, heavy doors, right, and you can't see through them, there's no windows or anything on them. Well, I opened the door pretty forcefully because I know how heavy they are, and she just so happened to be on the other side of it, and I didn't knock her over or anything, right? But I think I startled her. I hit her a little bit, but she had her hands up. So I feel terrible about it. She was fine. She was fine. It didn't knock her over, like I said, or anything. But I felt terrible about it. But yeah, she's kind of the same. She's a pretty small woman as well. So I have the same idea in my mind. My mom says, emotional response, eh? How about everything? But being told my friend's husband has to have heart surgery was hard and I started to cry. Also, not being able to do things I used to be able to help in certain areas without being in the way is hard and makes me cry too. I know, it sucks, but don't worry too much about those things. As for your friend's husband having to have heart surgery, as far as I know, he is fine. So, that is good. Everything seems to have gone well, so that's something we can be happy about. T. Lisa says, one of the wild cats was taking care of one of the kittens. It keeps following it around. I think it's because he's white and bright enough for it to see him. But he's so patient with the kitten, and it's rare for a male cat to show/be aware of a kitten. That's just sweet. That is really sweet. I love that. Animals are really cute that way. Now, I have to kind of tell a bit of a story now, don't I? Okay, well, so, my story. This week I went back to work. I start back at work again. And one of the kids that I coach in one of my classes, he's someone new, I've never seen him before, and he ended up being a little bit late to the class, just a little bit. I think he missed the warm-up, but we were still doing stretch, so he wasn't too late. But he came in, he sits down and everything, and just, I don't know, maybe it's just because he was shy, which is totally fine. I understand that. I used to be really shy when I was younger too. But it seemed like he had very little enthusiasm, right? It seemed almost like he was bored, or he was just like, maybe I don't really want to be here kind of deal, right? And so of course in my mind I'm just thinking about how awkward the classes are possibly going to be if that's going to be the kind of attitude from him, right? Well, I was sorely mistaken by that. It was a little bit awkward to start with, because even at the very beginning of like the actual coaching part where I'm explaining things and showing things and stuff like that, he didn't really have too much enthusiasm in responding or anything like that. He didn't have a bad attitude at all, but he didn't really have too much enthusiasm. And then later on, we started doing some still simple things, right? The first day is usually just about rolls, and a couple simple vaults, right? For those who don't know, I coach parkour, so just simple rolls and that, but in order to keep it interesting and not have the kids end up being bored, I usually give them challenges with those as well. So I'll put like a couple of the little vault boxes that we have, I'll just lay them out, right? They're only like this high, and have them roll across that. There's also, you know, a little beam that's not too wide, but it's also like, it's only this high off the ground as well. So I'll have them roll on those things, right? And it was so cute because he was just so amazed by how I was able to roll on the, because I demonstrate, right? So how I was able to roll across those things and stay on it for the most part, right? And he had so much fun. He had so much fun later on and throughout the class. So it was really, really cool, because to start with, I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting. And I'm trying my best to still be enthusiastic and still be, you know, like not sound boring or whatever, right? But then when that was his response to things, he's like, that's so awesome, with different things. And it was so cool, it was so cute, and it made me smile so much. I loved it. So that's my story. Sorry if it took me a long time to explain. Alright, but that's it for this video, so thank you all again so much for watching and for sharing. Hope you all enjoyed, and don't forget your new question for this week. What are you most excited for and least excited for this school year? Let me know in the comments below and I'll read them next week. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye, and God bless.